just continuing to get momentum. 16K net worth. Quite a big bump over that of the Anti-Mage, the leading farmer here for VP. Even the Gyro as well. G isn't farming poorly, but not particularly well either. Now moving into a Morbid Mask. Probably that HOD, eventually a Satanic. It still has a ways to go before he really gets scary.
Yeah, his HP is a bit low for the Storm as well, because Storm's damage is very largely magical, so even grabbing a Helm of the Dominator doesn't help that much versus him.
Yeah.
So most of the time he's just kind of hopping around and evading damage. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Phobos also gets his Force Staff completed here, so more mobility for him.
That's really good for an Earthshaker, especially against the Storm Spirit. If he gets Orchided, he's going to have a solution to himself. He doesn't have to worry about the supports to save him. Lena actually working towards a Yule's. Still far, though. Staff, Sage's Mask. He's missing about 1,400 gold or so. That'll be really good against Storm, because oh, never mind. Storm has a BKB.
Yep.
It's useless. He can use himself, I guess. Phobos might run into the enemy team, breaks their smokes. He gets the blink away really nicely down there. I don't know if he was trying to break smokes, but I feel like I keep seeing the really mobile heroes doing that. They move. Moon Meander did that a couple times as well. He moves towards where the opponents are, stands on the high ground, waits till he breaks the smoke, and then blinks away, because that's such a big advantage. It's like the difference between you basically gamble with your life at like a 30 to 40% chance of dying, but you also, if you do die, it's only one hero instead of potentially forcing your team to take a bad team fight.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to commit to those fights, and if you just break the smoke, it just lets your team continue to play passive and potentially outfarm your opponents.
Definitely a positive expected value for those kind of singleton breaking smoke plays. Now Blink Dagger on the Rubik. This has definitely turned into a more passive game here. Both sides just kind of sitting back and farming CTY, looking for opportunities to pick up ganks, but not being hyper-aggressive here and not taking any undue risk for the most part, just dropping remnants as he goes. Also controlling runes pretty effectively. I do worry that eHome are giving this Anti-Mage just a little too much space to recover. They've done a good job shutting him down, but they need to keep this up.
There's the 10-second BKB. It's gone. Oh, he messes up the ball.
Oh,
he has the Suicide. Ooh, that's pretty big. He loses some Bloodstone charges. That means he respawns slower next time. Each Bloodstone charge reduces the respawn time by 4 seconds. So if he loses about 6 there, that's pretty big. That's like 24 seconds. 24 seconds is massive in the early game. That's the difference, and especially because they have so many towers up, that he could actually TP close to team fight. So a little bit of a greedy play there, and VP sitting around S5 completely pays off there. 10-second BKB, and he loses a bunch of charges.
Yep. Shivas comes out on ROTK, so still item progression for eHome. But they need to be a little careful here. Maybe they're waiting for the Assault Kuros to be finished. Well, there it is. Comes out onto Yang. They do have this kind of trio of core items not completed. Illidan, he pops the Manta, tries to run back, but yeah, the Winter's Curse is there after the telekinesis. Now they'll follow up with plenty of damage, or is it? Stolen Blink. Scoot. He'll end up going down regardless. Double Force Staff, still not enough. TP home from the Shadow Shaman will keep him alive.
Again, Illidan is just a little bit too close to the battle, and he gets killed yet another time. It's how many deaths now? 6 deaths on him. Very uncharacteristic for him on Anti-Mage. He's got to feel tilted. The early pressure was huge. His battle fear is delayed, but he keeps pushing up too far, and that's consistently where he's dying.
Well, Roshan respawn now. This is Rosh number 2 with Anti-Mage in the grave. eHome should feel pretty comfortable here. VP did get the last Rosh pretty easily. Looking at Dire Vision, they have absolutely no wards down. This early gem pickup from eHome is really working out well, and they will not be able to contest this. Aegis will most likely go to Storm here. I guess actually no, Yang has the open inventory slot. No, so does CTY.
Yeah,
I mean, Storm is like the best Aegis carrier. I can't imagine giving it to the Razor.
Especially because he's very easily killed by an Anti-Mage ulti. If he overextends his mana a little bit and his BKB's gone, bam, he gets blown up. Yep. Very oftentimes with the rest of his team, but if it's just him by himself and he respawns with full mana and the mana void's down, then all of a sudden, like, you look at the enemy team and there's nothing they have to worry about, really.
Yeah. So eHome, they've got pretty much everything they need here. Purge, Shiva's, AC, BKB on the Storm. I think they should try a smoke rotation or something. Stay aggressive, and while they're drawing some lines on the mini-map, looks like they may take heed to that advice.
It's probably going to be a Razor push out the lane while everybody else smokes behind, and eventually gets there and sets up.
It feels like a good time to strike with Illidan still struggling to get his footing.
Yeah, once he gets his heart, things will be a bit easier, or the Reaver, that is. It's 500 HP, so it'll make a big deal. We'll see if he stacks this one here. Might just kill it on time. Oh yeah, he's got the damage.
Oh yeah, baby.
So that's a triple stack of Ancients. He'll be happy with that one. And that should be his Reaver then when he completes it. Somebody's close. It's CTY actually. Really bad for Phobos. Forces, doesn't get high ground. A second Force Staff. Okay.
Makes it up.
Usually he doesn't make those mistakes, but didn't quite make it.
Close call. ROTK very close to level 16. They may want to try delaying this fight until they get that upgraded Supernova and strike right when that baby's at its peak.
I don't even think he's a threat, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, killing the Supernova is good and all, but their biggest important thing is keeping their supports alive to Storm and not letting Anti-Mage die either. The Reaver's up, though, so he's got about 2200 HP, much needed HP. And if things go perfect for VP, Anti-Mage would take a ton of damage, get his ulti off, and then blink out. And then they should be able to win the fight afterwards, easily. Glimmer Cape on FNG as well. This guy's got items. What's going on?
The Dream have the Storm blow his full mana pool, get that big mana void, win the fight.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, see if Illidan can pull it off.
He's got a whole 3k gold, though, so that'll start him slowly, maybe not so slowly, on his Sheepstick most likely. Because extra disables versus Anti-Mage is the way to go.
Always
two
good.
options.
Yeah.
Same goes for the supports. If you just hex the Earthshaker, he can't force that himself.
Not bad to have against the Gyro as well. He still has that 10-second BKB if you can catch him with a hex before he gets off that magic immunity. Makes shutting him down a lot easier. Razor moving into the Aghanims, it looks like, has the point booster already.
I like it.
A little bit of tower sieging.
I like it versus Anti-Mage too. Lower his armor. He's a little bit weak to physical, and he doesn't have that many agility items, so his armor is actually not that high right now.
Yeah, reduces the strike interval as well, so it does stack up the minus armor a little more.
And better for pushing, so hits buildings. All very good things for it, especially since they do plan to siege their opponents soon, since they do have the gold advantage and they have all their core items.
Yeah.
Medallion Phoenix.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's all about the siege at this point, and all these new items help do that. I mean, not that Medallion hasn't always been in the game, but it was only recently that you're able to cast it on your allies and eventually upgrade it to a Solar Crest, so it scales a little bit better into the late game. Isn't as big of a waste of an item slot.
Yeah. All right, 2 minutes left on the Aegis here. Now is the time, eHome. They've been sitting back, farming up these core items. They secured Roche. They still have the gem. Here we go. Jump in onto Illidan. They'll hit him with the Orchid. Now the pull. Can they just finish him off before the fight even really starts? The Force Staff's doing so much work here, but
he's gonna die.
So much disable. The telekinesis to finish him off as Lana blinks in aggressively. Phobos gets off his ulti before he dies, but it's looking to be rough for Virtus Pro. They'll lose their Phoenix on the side of eHome, but a 1-for-3 triple kill for CTY. They start sieging this high ground.
And he spent everything to buy the HP items to try to survive there, and they almost got it with all the Force Staffs, but Storm just had too much mana there, and they had too many stuns. They even burned the Winter's Curse on it, consistently using it just for a 3-second stun on Anti-Mage. And
no buybacks on any of these dead heroes. This is at least one lane of Brax, if not two. eHome may just back out.
But and now they're going to have an Ags on Razor. Anti-Mage still doesn't have his heart. It's so rare that you see an AM with gold disadvantage in a game, but when that does happen, it's just so tough to win. And Gyro is going to take a while to be really a strong carry as well.
Yeah.
He needs like an item or two, and he's played well 2, 1, and 5, but Gyrocopter can't move around and get solo kills on some of these heroes, so G's kind of limited in what he can do, basically.
Not much VP can do here besides watch their mid lane of Barracks fall. Melee Barracks still standing, and that's where eHome will choose to retreat. Still a huge siege there, and look into this gold graph. Oh, yeah. Just a skyrocket in favor of eHome. About 14k net worth, 14k XP. Things looking very rough for Virtus Pro at this point.
So there's the Ags on the Razor. I doubt he'll go for a refresher here. He could, though, because you could refresh his BKB. Might just be better off. Let's see what he could get. MKB might be alright. Even something like a Desolator I don't think would be bad at all. Because he's already got AC, he's got an Axe, he's got a lot of minus armor. Why not just further counter the Anti-Mage? If he has a Deso, and this guy's not even close to a Butterfly in AM, if he just goes like minus armor here, he's just gonna, he could solo the Anti-Mage easily.
That's a really interesting point, actually. Stacking minus armor against an Anti-Mage forced into this build. You brought it up a few times, but his agility is really not that high. You think about Eye of the Storm and then a Desolator on top of that. All of a sudden, this Anti-Mage is in single digits of armor. Not so tanky after all.
Trying to catch somebody. They have vision.
Here we go. Long range zip from CTY. Hops in onto Lil. Self-Yule's there, but they'll use the Winter's Curse again onto Illidan. Static Link taking some of his damage. He will blink back, but CTY on the hunt trying to finish him off. Will be able to do it. Still no buyback for the Anti-Mage. A fast 2-for-0. They also killed the Lina. Now they go on to G. On the bottom side here, Lana and Phobos just duking it out, and it looks like Lana may win this battle. Nice blink to the side to juke the Echo, or the Totem rather, but now the Fissure comes out. Doesn't matter. Yang comes in and breaks up that party nice and quick. VP will hang in here till the bitter end, but it feels like a GG could be on the horizon here, Purge.
Yeah, the vision advantage versus VP is just too much, in addition to the fact that they have gold advantage. And if VP can't start the fight in a favorable way, there's absolutely no way that they'll win this match. And I just feel like they didn't get enough value out of their Lina this game. It's so tough versus Storm. And there's been so many games where VP just get last pick stormed, and they're like, oh, we have to play against a Storm now? That's not fun.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. And it just forces them into fights they don't want to take, and their supports just can't do what they want to. It's tough.
Well, great game from eHome. We talked about it. They needed a win in this series to even have a chance at moving up to the top 4, and if they can go 2-0 over Virtus Pro, things are looking really good. That secures them at least 8 points, officially puts them in the top 4 for now, but there's still more games to be played in this group. Vici Gaming, that knocks them down to the bottom. They will be starting in the lower bracket.
Yeah, no matter what. Vici Gaming is bottom.
So
Empire could still knock out Virtus Pro or tie with them. If they win, if they 2-0 their last set of the day versus VP, they would be both tied at 9, and whoever wins the tiebreaker, which is based on the teams below them's victory history, then they could go ahead. So this is really scary for VP. They need to get 1 point here. Otherwise, they don't necessarily get top 4. It's all depending on who Empire plays, though.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at that, because that's actually
it's hot 6, so there's a good chance Empire could 2-0.
Definitely could do that, so VP's got to be a little worried here.
All right, a lot on the line coming into our final game of this cast. Thank you for joining us, folks. I'm Ziori, he's Purge. Stick around because Game 2 of eHome versus Virtus Pro is coming up next.